Okay, we're recording. And actually, I'm going to plug this in again. I'll just let that hang and it should be all right. Okay, show your album.
So, in the stack of many of records, I chose, because I was asked to choose, I get to be the DJ for the opening, Dirty Dancing. And as a dancer, and a very young dancer when I first saw the movie, of course, many years ago. How many years ago did this come out?
Let's see what it says on the thing. It's got to be, I'm thinking 86 or something.
Yeah.
1987, not bad.
1987. So yes, this was a huge inspiration for me as a dancer. So I'm going to now play one of these tracks.
And I'm going to get a better record player, but this will work for now. It's kind of wobbly. And so by way of introduction, this is the famous Parashakti. Sigalit. And then your last names?
Bat Chaim.
And you know, like I say, Unlok Everiting.
That's right. Beautiful.
Im ein ani li mili.
Wow.
If you're gonna pick up some good Hebrew,
amazing.
you learn from the best, right?
Amazing.
And Parashakti came to the nest by divine accident or something like this. The word, Stephanie put the word out. We would love some company, and the right people reached out. And Miriam, and we've met at the baths.
Yes.
In the famous 10th Street baths, which I hope return in the new world that we're creating.
It's one of my favorite places to go when I land in New York is the Russian baths.
It's a touchstone. It's like no matter what anybody has done in that place, they're all like clean there.
Yeah.
And you're cleaning off, and it's no nonsense. And
I mean, you've built a sweat lodge on your land. Well, actually, 2 sweat lodges on your land. And so, for me, the Russian baths on 10th Street is that sweat lodge.
That's it. It's the city sweat.
It's the city sweat.
And you really can pray in that place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about how you show up to it.
Yeah.
With anything, you can take something that's very mundane and turn it into the sacred. And I feel that's every time I go to the Russian baths, it's my time to pray. And one of my favorite things actually is every Friday, before COVID, every Friday the Orthodox Jews would show up.
All right.
And they would pray and sing.
And smoke and drink.
Yeah. Well, I asked for permission to sing with them because, as you must know, women aren't really allowed to sing with really Orthodox men.
Well, they're at the baths.
Exactly.
So they're cool.
Exactly.
They're actually deep. They're pretty cool guys over there.
And more open.
Yeah.
And they also know that they have to, because they're in a place where people have the freedom of expression, if someone wants to sing, they give.
Right.
But I don't know if that would actually happen in real life, like in temple. If a woman started singing in an Orthodox temple, I think she would be asked to stop.
Right. And this is that we're creating these temples in our own spaces, and that's why we both felt comfortable hanging out at the baths.
Totally.
You can process, I don't know if you ever had a day like that, but where you really just let a lot out, like you do that shake or whatever, but you do it at the baths. And people give you the space to go through whatever shit you're going through.
Totally. No, it's very family based, the Russian bath. And it's also what you guys have created now at the Nest is, family. And everyone is welcome, and I think that as you welcome everyone.
Well, they're welcome upon mutual agreement.
Yes, correct.
And really having those guidelines and those boundaries and the conversation, the clear communication moving is the only way that a place like this could operate. So it's really nice that it's porous and attended to very closely.
Yeah. Amazing.
So nice. I actually just watched the trailer for your Gaia flick.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So because you should do research, right?
Who shows up in your home?
A little bit. No, just know that we're going to do this too, and just for the sake of also knowing a little bit. And the cultural connection to Judaism and Israel is something that is deeper than you could even discuss, I would guess. And then but equal in your heart as you've embodied yourself in this life is this search for truth apart from all of that.
Yeah.
And at the risk of losing everything.
Totally.
And you haven't lost anything from the way it looks.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about how you got to that moment of deciding that you were going to be you and not what everybody else wanted you to be.
Yeah, thank you for that. And what a day to ask me that question on Yom Kippur. I really believe that because from a very young age, I knew that I wanted to dance. So because I knew that calling so deeply, in some way, everything that was taking me off of that path, I confronted at a very young age. And one of the things that I had to confront as a rebellious teenager is my relationship with my father. My father is ultra-Orthodox. He left when I was 1 year old. He actually became ultra-Orthodox when I was 3 and remarried, and now I have 7 brothers and sisters.
Right.
And that relationship...
Go forth and multiply.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was a biblical calling for him.
Right.
Or a prophesied calling.
It really was. Yeah. He himself was searching before he became ultra-Orthodox.
How old was he when he made this?
At 40.
Oh, wow.
Which is a significant age,
right.
So I now, as I'm no longer the rebellious teenager, I can really accept and see where his search brought him and returned him home by turning to Orthodox religion. He is one of the most happiest 80-year-old men that I know out there. And what makes him so happy is the connection to Source, to God, and I feel the same way. And so I feel like my father and I are actually speaking the same language, although with very different pathways of reaching God.
I saw it wasn't always easy in the little clip to communicate and to pray alongside, and that orthodoxy of prayer is something we could talk about all day long. And actually, you know what I'm going to do? We're going to take a little break from our sponsor, the Nest, SCAF Nest, and Eileen S. Kaminsky and the Family Foundation at Mana. Oh my God, where would we be without them? But this all comes to us as our response to the world we've been brought up into. I didn't have any kind of religion other than the background Christianity and Easter, and church every once in a while, but my understanding of God was a kind of superhero comic book, blonde guy with a cape. I don't know if Superman and Jesus were the same, but it was something like that.
I have to just say, I'm so happy to hear that, another kindred brother about that, because after I saw Superman for the first time, the movie Superman, I thought, and I must have been maybe in like 2nd or 3rd grade, I thought that Superman was God.
Yeah.
I really believed that Superman was God. Clark Kent was God.
Amazing.
Wholeheartedly.
And he could have been Jewish. Clark Kent could have been Jewish.
Yeah. Anyway, going back to your childhood.
Just so what I think what the apotheosis of Americanism is to have no culture at all. Yeah. Have bought all your culture at the store that morning, along with your egg pocket sandwich and your cup of coffee in a styrofoam cup.
Yeah.
And really, we've lost everything.
Yeah.
But then we, in our very lifetime, we're getting it back, and that's been my whole search. Is when I came against the edge of professionalism, the professions, whichever one it is, you get to a point where it's like, what is this all for? And you might have come to that point in the first place, but then you said, okay, well, everybody else is doing it, so I'm going to do it too. And you go through it, and it still ends up in the place where it's going to end up, which is it's a broken system. and you're not happy, and you're tired out, and you're actually leveraged way more than you were when you started.
Yeah.
So how do we bring it back in? Well, this place is evidence of the power of prayer.
Yes.
Even for a gringo, a goyim, who didn't know that prayer was the only way, the way we inscribe our thoughts onto the tablet of time is the only way that our dreams realize themselves. And, for the kids out there, it's really true. And I thought, oh, pray, my thoughts and prayers are with you, and all this, like, we don't know what prayers are. We don't really know. But I didn't come at it from a Christian place, but I've seen a lot of different people pray, and everybody's praying, and it always seems like a humble situation. I'm not always there long enough to see the results of their prayers or why they're praying the way they're praying, but now I know that there's nothing wrong with creating the prayers and the rituals that make the most sense to us, because shit, what else are we gonna do? And even your dad's prayers, as perfect as they are, written in the cursive Hebrew, or what, and how ancient and perfect that is. In the one hand, it's so perfect that it shatters if you break, if you touch it, if you talk to somebody the wrong way, if you want to stand up and a woman says something, or there's all these things that get very bent out of shape quickly. So how can we integrate all these beautiful knowings of our ancestors and our elders? Without getting bent out of shape, and keeping our prayer real. It's my prayer is significant and specific to me. But I know that my power to be in the space with you, and for us to pray then together, even though we have different angles for how we got here, magnifies our prayer. And that's also math, and that's the math they don't teach you in school. But if they only taught you that math, you'd be a millionaire by the time you were 30, like they were wanting you to be, because you would have figured out the real way to get to be a millionaire. And it's like through that spiritual foundation. Amen. I mean, and Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Oh, hallelujah.
Also what's really touching, and you only started this 4 years ago, we both have found our prayer through our art.
Yes.
So myself through dance, you through your art. That's prayer. That is being connected to source and channeling something that allows you to be in your utmost expression, connected to God, and in service for the world.
Wow. I heard you say that today about in our ceremony that we just did, beautiful ceremony that we did. Thank you so much. Upstairs, about the artist. The offering of the artist is the art. And I sit around sometimes, I'll just confess to my one subscriber right now, but it's great, it can only go up from here, that I feel like it's like doodling. It's like, this couldn't be my gift, but you know what, this is my gift, and I hand these out to people everywhere I go, and that's it's so reassuring. It makes me feel valid as a human being. Like, I'm an artist, and I do this art not for a gallery to sell, but because I have to, and because it's coming through me, and the stuff is here, and I have this great idea. I think it's great anyway. Hang on. If that's not a great idea, what is? Only you can make your heavenly dreams come true. Blast off. That's the unrocket ship. Anyway, enough of this show and tell.
Well, especially you only have one subscriber. When a few more subscribers come on that want to know more, so I would love for you to speak more about it.
Oh, okay. Well, actually, this is potent, right?
Yeah.
You could burn the whole house down with a, and it's also classic. Like, look at that, bing, bing. Who gives matches? And it says right there, unlock. You don't know quite what that means yet, but you like the look of it, right? You're like, wait a second, huh? That guy's onto something. What's he got? What's he putting in his pipe? Well, it took me living around the world and doing all these things and all these professions, and realizing, having a hunch from the get-go that it was broken. The whole system was not integrated. They weren't telling us the whole truth. Each one of us has to find out the truth with our own life and our own quiet talk with God every single day. And the more we do that in faith, the more the daily waves and rockiness can't shake us, because we know it's just the vicissitudes are just the experience that we need to go through. But you get to a point and you realize, wait a second, and then I hope everybody gets a breakdown moment, like an absolute crushing defeat in the universe, like kicking you down the sidewalk, and nobody cares about you, right? I hope that everybody has that feeling, because it's just a feeling. It's not really true, but it's taken over.
We call it the dark night of the soul.
Right, the dark night of the soul. And so this came after the dark night of the soul. And I realized that I wasn't just here to pretend or like be a doodler or somebody who kind of like kept some notes, but I was just going to bust out and I was going to unlock. And I was going to, by unlocking, I was going to unlock, it was going to unlock that message that wherever you are, there's a way to amplify and magnify your prayers, and make stuff happen, make dreams come true, get yourself into a situation that you thought might even be impossible. I mean, look where I am right now, and where I was 4 or 5 years ago, and how I felt 5 or 6 years ago, like a wreck, like a failure, and now it's just another beautiful day, and we're looking for ways that we can share. And so that's what we're doing up here at the Nest. The Nest is 23 acres of gorgeous wilderness. It is a private artists refuge. It's an offshoot of the Eileen S. Kaminsky Family Foundation, which is an artist's residency program in Jersey City at the Mana Foundation, the Mana Complex in Jersey City. And it's just a wonderful program that is now sort of allowed this to happen, and it's for artists that we meet along the way to come up here and remember who they are and get cool and get clear and get connected to nature and make a new friend and maybe share some wisdom with the universe. And so that's what we're doing here. What wisdom would you like to share with the universe today, Parashakti?
Thank you. Well, I would love to utilize this incredible, what I call medicine bundle. And, someone can get this and say, cool, I can light a cigarette with it. But if you give it to Parashakti, I'm going to hold space right now for all those who are tuning into us in this moment of time.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
And, when we ignite fire is really what, for me, represents our deepest, passionate prayer. And so we're going to light the fire now on behalf of whatever it is that you are holding in your heart. And you probably tuned in at the most perfect time. What we call it divine order.
Divine order.
Divine order. Yes. And divine timing.
Divine order. Divine timing.
Divine order.
If you don't have any order in your lives, it's not cool.
We call it in Hebrew balagan. It's a mess.
Balagan. It's a mess.
It's a balagan.
I know very little Hebrew, but it's just a very fun language, and you Mishigas, right?
Yes, that's Yiddish.
Oh, Yiddish. Okay, then Yiddish is more fun. It's more my speed. With Shlemiel and Shlemazel, I think I've got those figured out.
Well, whatever tradition you are, whatever religion you are, what we're about to do is what I like to call earth-based medicine, right? We're honoring the fire, and the fire that lives inside of you is now to be really acknowledged. And by us lighting this, we take responsibility for lighting fire, right? I mean, it's a big responsibility to really own your mission. And I see fire as igniting that mission. So on that note of you asking me to share some wisdom, I'm going to ask the both of us, and I'm going to ask you to think about in your heart right now, what are you igniting in your life? What is it that we can hold from near and afar, so that whatever prayer you have, whatever intention you have, by me lighting this fire, how can that energy even more magnify that which you are calling into your life? Right? Because prayer is magic. So just take a moment and tune into it. And we are unlocking that prayer because this has been infused already with so much intention and so much care and so much love. And it's already been passed around the world to so many people.
Yeah.
So a lot of people right now are holding this. And by them lighting it, it actually amplifies your prayer,
Beautiful.
our prayer.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful like that.
Okay. And you know what? I'll just say one more thing, that if you have a lot of prayers, because sometimes we have a lot of prayers, think about one word that you want to amplify in your life.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, we got it.
Yeah. So we're lighting the sage, and the sage serves as a purification, a cleansing, releasing anything that doesn't serve your higher prayer. And so right now, Gordon, why don't you offer just a blessing to the sage?
Sure. I want to say thank you to the plant, the sage plant that actually, if you wanted to look at it scientifically, it's cleaning the air, and it's cleaning all the floaties, the electric floaties, and it's just cooling and cleaning everything off, and it makes the room better, you know. So there's something there. I'm gonna speak as the layman here, but there's something there that's beyond me. So I'm introducing myself. I'm Gordon. This is Parashakti. We really appreciate what you're offering to us. And we're receiving it with gratitude and humility. And it's cleaning out the room, and we're sharing it with the people who might be watching, and we're just sharing in this beautiful connection, this earth-based medicine connection. It is so simple. This is how you heal yourself. You know, speaking of wisdom, right? We're going through a COVID crisis right now. And here we are not even talking about it, because we realize that we can heal ourselves. And I got my test results back, by the way, and I'm negative. Yes. I was sure that they were going to send the deep state after me and get that Q-tip swab already, you know. But I'm paranoid. It's obvious, and you know, so I don't know. Is it real? Is it not real? Yeah, it's as very real as you want it to be, and it's realer than you could, you know, than a heart attack for some people. But meanwhile, up on the land, we are learning how to not be afraid and fall into these cycles of fear that, yes, bring disease. Yeah, it's very simple. It's very simple. So if we love ourselves, we trust God. Oh, here's another beautiful connection that I made along the way, that emunah in Hebrew means faith. And your immunity and your faith must have something to do with each other. So that's for all you atheists out there. I know I've got a few. You know, what are you gonna do? You know, these are interesting times to be an atheist. I'll tell you that, because I'm like I can dig it. Whatever's going down, I'm ready. I'm humble. I'm faithful. We'll get through. You know, granted, we got to a nice place before the Armageddon, and we can hunker down here. But if you don't have faith, I don't know, and I don't want to alienate anybody and be like that jerk who doesn't, you know. But one, you know, like, you know what, you know how I got faith is I got my ass kicked. You know, that's really my faith, because in the end, you know, your parents tell you to be faithful. You're like, it's too busy for me. I'm gonna go hang out with my friends. Yeah. And then you walk on your road, and then you crash. And then you're like, what happened? And then you're like, oh, somehow, eventually, maybe you keep crashing. It takes a few crashes.
You know, the crashes bring me to a share that I've been working in recovery for the last 7 years. And boy, do the patients come to us completely with lack of faith, you know, what we call a disconnection from soul, needing to do soul retrieval in my language. And the thing that I really work with them, especially if they're atheists, is just to connect to love
and to breath.
Yes.
Right. And maybe I talk too much about God. You know what? Because it's so easy. God is a cop out. I can see why those atheists get pissed off, because I'm just like, God is great.
Yeah. And like, you know what? If they can learn again just how to love. Yeah,
love everything.
For me, that is faith.
Love is
connection to
like
source.
For God, for me, is my bare feet on the path.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that feeling, you know, just I mean, now it feels like, because I can walk barefoot up here.
Right. I
You know?
noticed that when we all went on our walk, you were barefoot. I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. While we can, because it's going to get cold.
Right.
And you can't do it, I mean, people look at you funny if you do that in the city.
Of course. Of course.
And then you get those toe socks, and then they look at you even funnier. Anyway.
Wow.
Wow, well, that was nice.
Yeah,
Right? Was there anything we didn't
you.
quite say, or anything else we want to share?
So I'll just speak about my newfound fire and my newfound passion, which after 20 years of facilitating Dance of Liberation, which I really co-created it. When I say co-created it, it was birthed out of the roots of shamanism, out of the inspiration of my elders from the Native American tradition, out of different shamans that I apprenticed over the years. And that has been my dedication of really discovering, exploring, being a student of the dance floor, and exploring the essence of spirit and the essence of dance. And that has been my dedication. And in one of my many dances, I received a beautiful gift from Spirit that I am to create a power object that people, people can really connect to. Now, this power object, what I was explained, has to first live inside of us. It can't just be that you're going to get this power object and everything is going to change. So I received a soul map of how to work with people, first to discover this power object, which is the theme and medicine of the eagle. And the eagle flies above the mountains closest to the sun and sees the bigger picture. And so by connecting to the bigger picture, the mission of your life, you then learn how to embody those wings of your heart, take action. You can't just sit and be interviewed. You have to take action and then bring it into form. And it was all shown to me. And then it all manifested for me in the physical plane. And what I've created along with jewelers from downtown LA, Kabartsi Jewelers, is these beautiful power objects. You can't really see it, but I have a very big one that I'm not wearing now.
Maybe we can add a clip or something.
That would be great. I'll send you some pictures. You can add it. So this is the Sundancer, and it's with labradorite stone, and it comes with all different stones depending on where you are in your life, and that's how we journey with the stone people and see what stone will really help you and support you on your mission. So this is my new exciting venture. It's been amazing. In the making, and I'm very excited about it. So yeah,
love it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can't wait to learn more about it, and maybe we'll even get one of our own. We'll have to see the whole line.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Well, wonderful. Welcome. I mean, we'll see you next time at the nest. We're unlocking everything as fast as is humanly possible. Without stressing. Right.
And I just want to say a closing prayer, if that's okay.
Please do.
So we lit the fire, and the fire energetically is still burning on your behalf and on behalf of what we shared here today. And so what I pray for as this fire has been ignited on behalf of all of us, that we're going to put that fire out, and we're going to put that fire out energetically by just making a commitment right now. So just take a moment and think about whatever it is that you fired up, that you had that intention, and how are you going to take that into action? And that's how the fire is going to have a life of its own as we put it out and say goodbye and thank you for joining.
I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to use that, and we'll close with this. I am putting my intention into doing this little show, and I've been totally scared about it. And then you showed up, and we had a couple little episodes beforehand. And so even though the camera's off and we'll figure that stuff out and the lighting as we go, we're doing it one day at a time. And then next episode will be a little bit more refined. So here's for everybody to light that fire under their own little tukuses, so that they can do the things that they've been waiting to do.
And if you want one of these, get in touch.
Get in touch. Look at skefnest.com. And I'll put something up there, and I'm going to point to it because I can do this now. I'm going to put it on my painting, okay? And then also unlock UNLOK.space, right? Bing. All right. So we'll see you there.
And I'm at parashakti.org, parashakti.org.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Parashakti. That was beautiful. Om.